My son, he overstepped his boundaries in terms of me. You understand? He overstepped his boundaries, and he was inappropriately using my money without telling me crap about it. Like, is he stealing from me? Look, all I know is that in terms of what I'm dealing with, and that this is still going on, because, that's when my money got frozen at Wells Fargo. Thank God. No more money stealing from my son and the other people.
I didn't see this Wendy Williams situation playing out like this, but here we are. She just revealed that her own son, Kevin Hunter Jr., is the reason she ended up under guardianship. Turns out, he was taking so much money from her account that Wells Fargo had to step in and freeze it.
I think the amount of money that they questioned Kevin about for spending was like $100,000. To put it in perspective, Kevin's birthday party that year that his mom threw was $120,000. Kevin's rent was $80,000. Kevin's Uber Eats probably exceeded $100,000 that his mom approves.
Have you ever taken money from your mother's account?
Not without her consent.
A kid spending $100,000 on Uber Eats? What was he even ordering an entire restaurant? People are also wondering if Kevin Jr. was taking money from Wendy and secretly sending it to his dad and his dad's side piece. If that's true, that would be just plain evil. But let's not jump too far ahead. Let's get into Kevin Jr.'s mess and how he ended up being the reason Wendy got placed under guardianship. You might remember that toward the end of 2022, he got kicked out of his $2 million luxury Miami apartment and hit with a. Kevin Jr. got slapped with a lawsuit for $70,000 in unpaid rent. Wendy had been paying for his place, but she couldn't anymore, apparently because of legal and medical issues. He even had to show up in court, where he told the judge that ever since his mom's health got worse, all the money she was giving him stopped, including rent. He also said he was a full-time student, but had taken a year off to take care of Wendy. Then, just weeks after Wendy showed up for his college graduation, Kevin Jr. got hit with a second eviction notice from his Miami apartment. This time, he reportedly owed $431,000, and the property owners told him to either pay up or leave by January 7, 2025. Some people felt bad for him, saying he didn't deserve all this. But here's the thing, Wendy's whole situation started because of him. In her recent TMZ documentary Saving Wendy, she admitted that her guardianship began after her son. Kevin Jr. was taking large amounts of money from Wendy's account without her knowing, and Wells Fargo caught on. They flagged the transactions, froze her assets, and that's how she ended up under guardianship. Wendy said her son crossed the line, using her money without telling her. She also hinted that other people might have been influencing him and hanging out at her Miami apartment. At this point, he's a horrible person to me, Wendy said. The way he's acting, the people he's hanging around. What's going on in my Miami apartment? What are you doing? You spent how much on what? And what's really going on with Wells Fargo? She also talked about a time when her son wanted to rent a boat for his birthday. It was supposed to be $1,500, but somehow, he ended up with one that cost $133,000. His excuse? He said the bank wanted him to have it, which made no sense at all. Wendy made it clear her son wasn't acting alone. She believes other people were pushing him to spend her money, which means Kevin Jr. was misusing her funds this whole time, and he wasn't the only one involved. Crazy, right? But it gets even worse. Wendy also claimed that a woman had been impersonating her to steal even more money. And the shocking part? Kevin Jr. was the one who introduced this woman to her. It's a woman around my age, Wendy said. She was on the phone, pretending to be me. Huge red flag. Flag. Wells Fargo, red flag, and so many red flags, Wendy said. Thank God they stepped in and stopped all the money that was being taken from me. They froze it just in time, and luckily, I still have money left. Crazy, right? Totally unreal. But here's the thing. According to court documents filed last September, Kevin Jr. apologized for his mistakes and bad decisions, but the court still wasn't convinced he could keep Wendy safe. They believed he might, knowingly or not, put her at risk of being taken advantage of again. That's why, even if Wendy gets out of guardianship, she can't be under her son's care. Even her own family agrees. She loves him, but putting him in charge wouldn't be the best idea.
My aunt loves her son very much. But I think that there are other options at this point in terms of who can care for and make sure that his mother at 60 years old is taken care of properly.
Who would have thought her own son would be the reason for all this? It's really giving Kevin Hunter Sr. vibes. Remember when Wendy's brother, Tommy, went off about her abandoning her family? He claimed she wouldn't even let Kevin Jr. into her penthouse. According to Tommy, Kevin Jr. flew to New York to spend her birthday with her, but when he got there, she wouldn't let him in.
It's not looking fair to the main person who deserves fairness, her son. And my eyes are starting to open up. My patience is wearing. And her son is up there to spend what could be monumental time with his mother, if she opens the door.
At first, it didn't make sense why Wendy wouldn't see her son. But now, with the truth coming out about his role in her conservatorship, it all adds up. Still, no matter what, he's her son, and Wendy has made it clear she still loves him. During her phone interview on Two Angry Men, hosted by Harvey Levin and Mark Garagos, she was asked if seeing Kevin Jr. would be uncomfortable. She handled it with grace, saying she was actually excited to reconnect with him. She also mentioned she's heading to Miami to celebrate her father's 94th birthday with family. If Kevin Jr. shows up, she'll probably have a conversation with him. But Wendy isn't just talking about her son, she's opening up about everything. From how she believes she was misdiagnosed to her thoughts on her guardian, Sabrina, and how she plans to fight to end the conservatorship.
Well, you see where I am, right? Where I am is this place where the people are older. I am part of the memory unit. A memory unit, in other words, what? Somebody who doesn't remember crap? Are you serious?
One of the biggest bombshells in the documentary is that Wendy Williams is living in a memory care facility, surrounded by elderly residents with severe cognitive decline. She says she's only been allowed outside twice in the past month, has no access to her phone or iPad, and isn't even allowed to leave her room without a chaperone. I've been asking for an iPad for what feels like forever. Just an iPad, Wendy said. Can I please have my phone back? Can I at least call my family? What's the problem with me talking to my friends? And if that wasn't bad enough, the documentary also reveals that all of Wendy's personal belongings are locked away in a storage unit. The most shocking part? Her guardian, Sabrina Morsi, actually has legal approval to make money from. Her guardian, Sabrina Morsi, isn't just managing Wendy's estate, she actually has legal approval to profit from it. And to make matters worse, a court order prevents anyone involved from speaking publicly about the case, keeping everything behind closed doors. But there's finally a glimmer of hope. Wendy is one step closer to getting her freedom back. According to sources, she signed an affidavit on the afternoon of February 12th, officially asking a judge to end her conservatorship. In the paperwork, she makes one thing clear: she's fully capable of handling her own life. No legal guardian needed. Wendy is pushing back against claims that she has frontotemporal dementia, a diagnosis her doctors and court-appointed guardian, Sabrina Morsi, have been insisting on. But here's the thing. TMZ broke down this alleged diagnosis in the documentary, pointing out that people with frontotemporal dementia never get better. Yet in all her recent interviews, Wendy has seemed sharp, aware, and determined to take back control of her life. With the #FreeWendy movement picking up steam, more and more people are starting to question if this diagnosis was ever real in the first place. Wendy says she's in a much better place mentally than she was 2 years ago, and now she's taking real steps to get her freedom back. After signing the affidavit, she's scheduled for a medical reevaluation on February 18th. The very next day, her lawyer will file an emergency order to push the judge to finally end her guardianship. But if the judge refuses? Wendy's not backing down. She's ready to take the fight to a jury trial. People just can't shake this off, and honestly, who can blame them? Now that Wendy has said her own son was the reason behind her conservatorship, the internet is losing it. One person wrote, "Wait a damn minute. So Wendy Williams' son, Kevin Jr., is the one who withdrew all that money, got her accounts frozen, and started this whole mess? Wow!" Another added, "Damn, Wendy's own son was out here misusing her money and ended up putting her under a conservatorship? All she ever did was love him. Wendy loved that boy with everything she had, but it's looking like he picked up a few bad habits from his dad." One person put it bluntly, "Oh my God, y'all. Wendy Williams' son, little Kevin, was the one taking her money? That's what triggered Wells Fargo and got her caught up in this whole mess? Like father, like son, what a disaster." Now, people are saying Wendy probably wasn't telling the full truth before. Maybe she was trying to protect her son, avoid embarrassment, and keep herself from looking like a bad mother. She didn't want the world to turn on him, but now the truth is out. If Wendy really wanted to give her son that kind of money, she could have, but clearly, she didn't. She wasn't about to let him drain her accounts like that. And now, people can't ignore the fact that this is really giving Kevin Hunter Sr. vibes. But what do you think? Was Kevin Jr. just reckless with the money, or was someone else influencing him? Could he have been funneling cash to his dad and the side piece? Let's get into it. What's your take?